All right, so you've received this large sum of money and you're wondering, what should I be thinking about how to deal with it? Hello, everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Sudden Wealth Stewardship. I'm Tommy Cloud, the president of Third Act Retirement Planning, a company I founded in 2000. As a certified financial planner and a qualified kingdom advisor, I specialize in helping recent Christian affluents make biblically sound financial decisions. Our firm can only serve a select number of clients, so we created this YouTube channel to educate and help more people. In today's video, we're going to discuss 3 important Christian mindsets to have with your newfound wealth or with wealth at all. The number one mindset that we want to start with when we receive a large sum of money as Christians, or if we do have a bunch of money, any money, is to see ourselves as a steward and not the owner of what we have. The Bible is very clear in numerous places that God owns everything. Job 41:11 says, "Who has given to me that I should repay him? Whatever is under the whole heaven is mine." And this is God speaking to Job. So whatever's under heaven is God. So that's going to include everything. I hear some people saying, sometimes even Christians, they'll say, well, it's my money, I can do whatever I want to with it. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Number one, it's not my money, it's not your money. And number two, we can't do whatever we want to with it. God has asked us to do specific things with His money. He is the master, not us. So we are mere stewards of God's money, and if we want to know what He wants us to do with His money, then we have to dive into, seek, and read His Word. All right, so we talked about stewardship being number one, and the rest of them are going to come from teaching that Paul wrote to Timothy. Ultimately, we're going to go over 1 Timothy 17 through 19. So the next mindset you want to have, let's look at this. 1 Timothy verse 17. "As for the rich in this present age, charge them or command them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy." So you've gotten all this money, you have a big chunk of money, and you are now rich in this present age. This verse from Paul, actually written from God directly to you and to me, is telling us to be humble, not to be haughty or arrogant, depending on the translation, and to set our hopes on God and God alone, not to set our hopes on our riches. We've seen so many people do that have failed. They set their hopes on their riches. And so many of the billionaires, if you read the wealthiest people that have lived in the United States, what they said at the end of their life, many of them said similar things. So God's warning us about this so that we can have better lives and a better relationship with Him on earth. And verse 18, 1 Timothy verse 18 says, and it's 1 Timothy chapter 6, by the way, verse 18. Thought I might want to mention the chapter there. So that's 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17, and now we're going to do 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 18. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share. So we've got, under having a stewardship mindset, a mindset of humility, and a mindset to set our hope on not the wealth, but God. And number 4 is going to be good, to be rich in good works. Don't just have all this money that we've gotten. We've got this lawsuit settlement, a divorce, we sold our business, and now we've got millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now we're rich, but let's be rich in good works. Let's go out and do that. And James talks about, and from his writings, God used James to talk about how our faith, we need to question our faith if we don't have good works. Our faith in God should be proven out in our good works that we do for Him. Of course, good works will not save you, according to the Bible, but good works is proof that you have indeed been saved. So you've gotten this money, And remember to be rich in good works now. Maybe that you've gotten all this money, you can devote less time to making money and, in fact, be rich in good works. And then the next one is to be generous and ready to share. Jesus talks time and time again about giving and the importance of giving. And to whom much is given, much is expected. Give, and it will be given unto you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, and verse after verse after verse about giving and the importance of that. So as we look at it, a quick review, we're going to have an attitude of stewardship, understand that God owns everything. We don't own anything. Number 2, have humility, do not have arrogance. Number 3, set our hope on God, not the money. Be rich in good deeds and not just the money we've gotten. And number 5, be generous and ready to give it away. Why? Why would we do this? There's many reasons why we would do it, but one of them is answered. Paul goes ahead and answers the question right in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 19. God says, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. So the final one is number 6, to have an eternal perspective. We're doing these 5 things that God has asked us to do in these 5 mindsets, and some of it requires action, in order to store up treasures for ourselves in heaven. Christ himself said that he's going to prepare a place for us. He said, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not true, I would not have told you this. So let's take this to heart and remember that everything here on this earth is going to burn, and heaven and God and Jesus is going to live forever. And so will we if we're born again. So important mindset number 1 is to understand and see yourself and myself as a steward. We are not the owners. Sometimes I hear people say, even Christians will say, well, it's my money, I can do whatever I want to with it. Well, let's see what Deuteronomy 10:14 says. Behold, to the Lord your God belong heaven and the highest heavens, the earth and all that is in it. So we know that the truth is God owns everything. I am a mere steward, which means I'm a manager of this money that he's put into my possession. And since he's the maker and he's the master, then I need to be doing what he wants me to do with his money. We don't want to have the mindset that 90% belongs to us and 10% belongs to him. We want to have the mindset that 100% belongs to him, and we're steward, and we are mere stewards. How do we know what he wants us to do with his money? Well, we read his word. We read the Bible to better understand how to be the stewards that he wants us to be.